Hi guys, Casper MMA here, and today we're back with another PFL prediction video on the channel. Today going to be my predictions for PFL Champion Series, Nurmagomedov versus Hughes. Now, I don't keep up with PFL like the competitions that enough because I don't really know what the road to Dubai means, but I just know that this card looks pretty good. This is a big main event, so I'm here for it. But before I get into my predictions, make sure if you guys are not subscribed already and you're enjoying this content, you go down below and hit the subscribe button. It's free and it's really appreciated. So, we've got the whole card in front of me. There's a total of 10 fights on this card, and we kick things off with the first fight of Mostafa Abada Rashed Neda versus Haider Khan. Now, that may be the longest name I've ever read out on one of these prediction videos because I don't know what that guy is called, but Neda versus Khan looks a decent little matchup. Khan, British, well, I don't know where he's, don't actually know where he's from. It just says he's representing Britain, and he's 8-1 currently. A lot of wins by decision. He's coming on a 4-fight winning streak at the minute as well. Neda, on the other hand, 9-3 on a 5-fight winning streak. Looks quite good. A lot of KOs in there as well. So I do think this could be a close fight. Both guys look pretty good, but I do think I'm going to back the Saudi Arabian man in Neda here, and I think he's going to get the job done by KO in round number 2. Now, moving up the card, we're going to keep this short and snappy. You know, I want to get to bed. It's quite late today, but we're going to go with John Mitchell versus Suhail Tairi. Now, John Mitchell from Ireland, 9-2 professional record. He's coming off a win by submission in his last fight, but before that he had a loss against Kazuba, which is not bad because he's undefeated, that guy. And before that, he's got a few good wins, to be fair. His opponent, Suhail Tairi, not as great record, only 7-5. Has lost his last fight to Mohamed Saifi. Not the best record recently either. So I do think I am going to go with John Mitchell to get this job done. He looks the better fighter, and I reckon he's got to get the win by decision. Now, moving up the card too. Hadi Omar Al Hussaini versus Ruel Panales. Now, we've got a Filipino, I think. Yeah, Panales is a Filipino fighter, 5-2 currently. Is coming off 2 losses in his last 3 fights, but he's got a quite a decent record before that. Beating some decent guys there as well. Omar Al Hussaini, 5-1-1. Is coming off, his only loss was his last fight in PFL Mania 2, but before that, a pretty decent record as well. So, both of these guys, not too shabby records, but I am going to go Al Hussaini to get this job done. I mean, I do think he's looked a bit better in some of his fights, so I'm going to have Al Hussaini to get the job done by decision. Now, moving up the card too. Mirafzal Ahktamov versus Mike Thompson. Now, undefeated Ahktamov, 7-0-1. Fighting at Uzbekistan. He looks pretty good, you know. Is coming off a win against Scottish Stockman in LFA. Pretty good win there, and has got a lot of wins as well. His opponent, Mike Thompson, 7-2, Englishman. He looks pretty decent as well, to be fair, on a 3-fight winning streak, all by KO, but did lose to Shamrock before that, and he's had another loss as well. So it's a close fight, this one. Both guys look decent, but I am going to back the undefeated man. I will be going with Ahktamov to get this job done, and I reckon Ahktamov gets the submission in round number 1. Now we move up the card too. Tarek Suleiman versus Ahmed Sami. Now, Suleiman fighting out of Syria. It's a Syrian versus an Egyptian in this fight. 13-8 for Suleiman. Currently coming off a win. Before that, he had a grappling loss to Marvin Vittori, so that's interesting. But yeah, he lost to Will Fleury before that. He's pretty good. He's got an interesting record, but he's lost to Will Fleury twice apparently, so that's interesting. His opponent, on the other hand, Ahmed Sami, bit better record, 11-4. Is also coming off a loss to Belgaruri, but we saw him. He got into the UFC through the Contender Series, so that's not the worst loss to have in your record. Before that, he's got a few finishes in that. I do think that what's his face, Sami is going to get this job done. I feel like he's beat some high-level competition before in his past, so I think Sami is going to get the job done, and I'm actually going to get the decision. Now, moving up to the main card now. Renat Khavalov versus Cleaver Fernandes. Now, both these guys, very impressive records. Khavalov, 8-0. Fernandes, 9-1, so both these guys pretty good. I mean, Fernandes He's only had one loss to Gabriel Braga, which is his second fight professionally, and since then, all wins. Some of them come by submission, some of them by decision. Khavalov on the hand, 8-0, undefeated Russian. He looks pretty good, to be fair. Quite a few KO wins, couple of decisions in there as well. So I'm going to back the undefeated Russian guy. How can I not? And I reckon he's going to get the job done by KO in round number 1. Now, moving up the card to Ibragimov versus Kennedy Mokhonoana. Yeah, I won't even try to pronounce it. Mokhonoana. Yeah, God knows. Irishman. Nicknamed the Black Diamond. He's coming off a loss to Josh O'Connor, but before that, he's had a few finishes, to be fair. He's had a few good wins. Beat John Mitchell. No, his last loss was to John Mitchell back in Ibragimov at 8-0. He looks pretty decent. I watched his last fight against Campos. He's a pretty good fighter. He also got the win against Josh Reed as well. So I feel like Ibragimov, the Englishman, is going to get this job done. It's the least English sounded name I've ever heard, but he's English and he looks pretty good. So I'm going to go with Ibragimov to get the job done. And I reckon he gets the KO in round number 2. Now, moving up the card to Nathan Kelly versus Akhmed Magomedov. Now, Magomedov 10-1, Nathan Kelly 11-2. Both of these guys very impressive records, to be fair. Magomedov is coming off a loss, to be fair, but before that he had a pretty decent record. His last loss was to Henry Corrales in Bellator by decision. Nathan Kelly, on the other hand, 11-2 from Ireland. Is on a very long winning streak at the minute. I don't know how many fights that is. 11 currently, 11 fight winning streak. He looks pretty good, to be fair. Quite a few KOs and submissions in there as well. So I think I'm going to pick Kelly to get the job done here against the Russian. He looks pretty good recently, so I've got Kelly winning this fight by decision. Now, moving up the card too. The co-main event. Vadim Nemkov versus Tim Johnson. Now, Nemkov looks a pretty decent fighter from Russia. He beat what's his face, Yoel Romero a bit ago, and then beat Bruno Capizzola as well. So he's got a few good wins. He had the belt on that in Bellator. Beat Ryan Bader, Phil Davies, Corey Anderson. He's defended the belt quite a lot. Tim Johnson on the other hand, he just got knocked out not too long ago. Against Denis Goltsov, got knocked out. Before that, had a few wins, but he's getting on a bit now. So I do think Nemkov is going to get this job done. Feel that's pretty simple. I don't know what method he's going to do, but I feel like the safest bet here is to go Nemkov by decision. Now, moving up the card too. Usman Nurmagomedov versus Paul Hughes. Now, we just saw another Usman lose this weekend to Merab, but I do think Usman Nurmagomedov will probably get this job done, against Paul Hughes. 18-0 is pretty good. Just beat Shabley by decision. Obviously beat Benson Henderson, went no contest with Brent Primus. Paul Hughes, however, is a really good fighter. Only loss coming to Jordan Vucenic by split decision, and Vucenic's in the UFC now. But, he has some good wins as well. He beat Morgan Charrier, who's in the UFC. He beat AJ McKee Jr. in his last fight, which is a great win as well. So, it should be a good fight, this. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm going to have to back the Nurmagomedov to win this fight. 18-0, it's hard to pick against him. So, I'm going to go with Usman to get the job done by decision. So, there we have it. There are my picks for PFL this weekend. Let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with any of my picks. And that's all for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, maybe leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.